Hey everyone, bloodmako here, and this is my run of But's Lufenia boss fight. The heretic Lufenia. So once again we get the bears from how do you say his name? Siren? One of the older, or the first few characters to actually get his LD. So these bosses, if you compare it to the previous one, they are much more manageable. The initial part of the fight is actually quite okay. It's it didn't feel like a Lufenia fight until I think about the 50-ish% mark. Once they go below 49%, yeah, that's when they become very dangerous. So I brought Butts, Paladin Cecil, and Squall. I wanted to give Squall a shot, and because there's two bosses, right? So he does split damage, or he does damage split exactly, and that's really good because first of all, I mean, it's two bosses. Any perfect damage split is really good. Second of all, Squall with his with the number of hits that he does, and his follow-up, the amount of hits that his follow-up does, it really helps with the later part of this stage. Because once the bosses hit, I believe it's 49%. I think it's 49%. It's either 59% or 49%. Basically, the later half of the fight. They will. Okay, I think it's after they cleanse the second time. So, yeah. All this will be in the description below anyway. They will actually gain a ton of brave. Very similar to the previous boss fight, where after they attack us, or attack your party members, they will gain a ton of brave. So people like oh, I'm blanking on her name right now. People like Ferris, yes, that's her name, Ferris. Yeah, with her LD, it will prevent the bosses from getting a lot of brave after every hit. The only issue is that they will cleanse 4 times in total for the battle. They will remove all frame buff, except the gold one, with the new Kadash introduction. But yeah, it's still very manageable, even when you're removing all the debuffs and gaining a ton of brave. If you pull for Butts here, it will be really good because that's 100% gravity. So another way to do this is to bring 2 calls with gravity or instant break. You can always bring same as the previous boss fight. You can just bring someone with someone like Caius, Emmy, X-Death. I mean, these are the few that I can name right now. Yeah, and that's why I also opted to bring a Go Best Friend, just so that he can prevent the bosses from getting all the braves later on. Not so much on the specific HP thresholds where they will do their spear shot. That one is very manageable. It is more of towards the later part of the fight where after every hit they will gain a lot of brave. That was the issue, because after every hit they will hit a brave amount of about 500 to 600. Okay, yeah, so that was the issue. Because Butts EX is 50% gravity, followed by a lot of hits after that, and his missile, I believe, does about 80 to 90%. None of his skills is 100% other than his LD. So this is actually my second run. The first run I did, I brought Go Best instead of Squall, but that was beside the point anyway. I had issues towards the end because I used his last LD just to do damage. I didn't know at 29% they will cleanse themselves again, and I realized that I didn't have any more gravity. I brought 1 gravity, Emmy. I thought she was gonna be enough, and technically she is if you time Butts LD properly. But yeah, so the issue I faced was I had to summon, and Butts could not break the bears in time and then they did their spear shot plus. That's when when you're doing once to them and you don't break them, and then they will do the spear shot plus. So you have to break them. I hate this brief reduction nonsense, but yeah, so you have to break them, and gravity is very important. Gravity or instant break. So you might want to bring a few calls that also can increase HP damage, because the cleansing is not as often as the previous fight where they will cleanse every 10%. This one they cleanse at 79, 59, 49 and 29. Yeah, that specific amount if I'm not wrong. Again, all this will be in the description below. You can just feel free to check it out. But yeah, this fight is so much. It's like a breath of fresh air, you know, after the previous fight that we had. Here you see me bringing in my friend Gobez. That's just to I didn't want to deal with the stupid mechanic where they'll gain so much brave, you know. So technically, if you have a Gobez burst and you manage to get a friend Gobez burst, you can just, you know, prevent them from getting brave like 70% or 75% of the fight. You know, then you don't have to worry. You just have to bring someone with gravity once. You know, you just have to use it once at the beginning of the fight, maybe. Oh, that's what I would recommend, like, if you have someone with if you have Gobez with burst. But obviously he's not doing as much damage as he was. He's not synergy anymore. Yeah, my my butts with really lousy artifacts, and I didn't even have his C65 growth equipped, and he's still doing quite a bit of damage. You know. So I didn't bring a tank. That's why I brought Paladins here. I was thinking, I think my previous video. Oh well, there are a lot of videos with Gladio, because these bosses like to delay Gladio, or rather delay a character. So you can really extend the amount of uses that you get out of his LD. But I thought that was, dare I say it, I thought that was too easy. So I decided to, you know, try it out without a tank and see how difficult it was. So I brought Squall instead, and yeah, Squall turns out to be still very strong. I'm thinking is with all the Paladin Cecil's auras and his AA active, you know, and that's why you see Squall doing so much damage. Yeah, Gobez, yes. So Gobez comes in, he does his burst, and you know, just spam his LD. The only issue is that once his burst is gone, there will still be a time when he is still active. And that is something that you have to be, wouldn't say, you just have to pay attention, because at that point of time the bosses can still get brief, and while Gobez does take reduced HP damage, you don't want him to be hit with a 600k, you know, HP damage by both or one of the bosses, and then he just leaves, and it's basically damage that you can never recover from. It basically ruins your run effectively. So yeah, on the off chance that you don't have someone, Gobez burst, or you are lucky and you got Butts burst, I recommend that you hold your burst all the way until you reach a point where, like what I'm about to face right now, both the bosses has so much brave. Sorry, it's not 600. It's not 600. Right? It's 64. Well, okay, whatever the number is, they are doing a lot of damage. They have a lot of brave. But yeah, so what you... Yeah, I think it's 600. I wasn't wrong there. So what you want to do is just hold your burst all the way to the point where you realize... Or the point where the bosses have too much brave. Or when you realize that the optic is too low. Because the op... Well, you know... Hitting them with a wind damage just increase it by 10. Most of Butts is a single target. The only multi-target, if you will, is his LD. And I timed it just nice that when the bosses will cleanse themselves and gain a lot of brave while in the burst sequence, so I am able to use his LD to just immediately destroy the Brave that he gave. So I'm seeing, or rather what I expect most people to do is to bring a Fujinko, because she's like the few people that can actually enchant the party with wind. And hers is a double enchant, both her LD and her base core. So that is another way to deal with it if you don't have Buds, or you don't want to build Buds. I will really recommend that you build him if you don't have Fujin's LD, because without Fujin's LD, I think it might be very difficult to finish this fight, because they only cancel the orb at 29%, and that is really low, unless you have the amount of the amount of damage, you know, to just immediately destroy the bosses. Then by all means. But if you're doing the Gladio strat, then you will notice that the orb may be an issue. And oh yeah, right here, I did not see this in any one of the guides, but I thought it's pretty interesting. So one of the bosses, I can't remember exactly what he did. You might want to just go back a few minutes and take a look. He actually freezed Squall. That's something new actually. I did not know that these bosses can actually freeze one of your character, and that is not EX freeze. It's a it's a Brave freeze. So I was thinking, okay, you know what? Maybe with Buds could grant Squall some Brave so that he won't break. But no. Or rather, with the freeze frame active, right? It prevents all occurrence of Brave gain. So be it Brave hit, that means you just doing normal Brave hits, or one of your party member trying to Brave your battery your other party members. So yeah, so it prevents everything. But normally when you reach the 29% mark and you have sufficient gravity, or your party members are able to handle the amount of Brave gain that the bosses get, then once you hit the 29%, then it's really a breeze from there. There is no more cleansing, there is no more Brave gain if you don't let them get a turn. I'm not exactly sure whether you are able to at this point of the fight, because I don't see the framed symbol at their turns, which is why I also didn't want to use Amy in the summon, because I wasn't sure if she was gonna be useful. I mean, on hindsight, I should have just threw it. It was the end of the fight. It didn't really matter anymore. But yeah, some interesting things about Buds burst is that, or rather, the one interesting thing that I noted was basically he grants everyone Go Best LD effect, which is you will gain Brave based on the amount of HP damage that you do. And I'm pretty sure you get some increased Brave damage and increased attack or whatever, more of the generic stuff. But yeah, I thought that was actually a pretty sad burst effect, but hey, I could be wrong. So yeah, I mean, that's the end of the fight. These bosses are really much easier than the previous one that we had to deal with. My spheres and artifacts, as usual, at the end of the video. My Buds did not have any good artifacts at all. I just threw some spheres on him and went into this fight straight. But yeah guys, thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.